Hello everyone and welcome to Edusurg Clinics where we discuss some key topics related to common medical and surgical practice. I am Dr. Gunjan Desai and at the request of a lot of our subscribers and students, we are starting a series that is going to help each and every student, whether it is medical, dental, nursing, pharmacy or any other student who wishes to engage into research publishing. So today's topic is why to publish. So commonly asked questions in our classes include why should we publish? Does a publication help in career growth? Should we pay to publish? As you all may be aware, the models of publishing are changing to open access publishing. We will see what the models to publish are in upcoming videos. But that gives us this very commonly asked question is, should we pay to publish? That is, as an author, you are charged a fee to publish. So is it worth paying this fee to publish? Does a publication help me earn? So these are the commonly asked questions regarding the topic of research publishing. Let us first see an example which all of us will relate with, and that is the COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, all of us have gone through this pandemic, and you would realize that in the initial phase, everyone was skeptical in treating the patients. That is when the pandemic started, say in India, it started in March 2020. Everyone was skeptical to treat. The reason being there was no experience and there was no evidence. What that means is that there were no papers available or there was no data, no guidelines available to treat this disease. What changed after first wave or at least half of the second wave? Experiences were shared. Whenever we treated the patient, we put that data into national databases, and this experience was shared and published. So, in spite of having a pandemic, the COVID-19 phase saw millions of publications in the medical literature by different doctors, and that is what started building data, case reports, case series, reviews. And based on these publications, like the use of hydroxychloroquine or the use of remdesivir, so on and so forth, we started gaining confidence to an extent that now COVID-19 is just being considered as a viral disease because we know that we have treatment for it. So, if you understand the meaning of this, the meaning is that because we did not have any literature in the initial phase, or in other words, because we had no research and no publications in the initial phase, we were all baffled as to how to treat and what drugs to use. Similarly, in your routine practice, just consider a situation where there is no literature on how to treat patients with gallstones if you are a surgeon. All of us do surgery for gallstone disease when the patient is symptomatic, as well as some indications are there based on research to treat these patients even when they are asymptomatic. But suppose there was no literature, then how would you assess these patients and how do you plan treatment? Similarly, patients with MI, if you did not have the literature to support different treatments or epidural catheters in normal delivery, will the patient accept an epidural catheter? And will you incorporate an epidural in your practice? That's a very difficult thing to judge. The content of medical books is completely based on research, literature, and evidence, right? No one's writing only their experience in medical books. So, without having research and without having publications, it is very difficult to design medical books. So, these are the scenarios that give you perspective on research and publishing. What are these perspectives? These are some personal reflections on research and publishing based on last many years of experience in this field. The important points to realize are highlighted in these three perspectives. First is that each case is unique, and this is what my mentors used to say. Each case is unique, and that is why the unique features of each case are an experience that should be shared with the upcoming generations. It would not be wrong if we say that not publishing may be a self-centered approach towards the patient as well as towards the next generation of servicing people. there are always some features that change from patient to patient, as each patient is unique, each disease presentation can be unique, and so it is not less than a self-centered approach if you have experienced that uniqueness in a case and not published it. So a very important perspective to take home from this is that an experience has to be combined with evidence. Evidence is nothing but research and publication. So your experience becomes evidence in future, and this evidence gets translated into publication and research for the future generations. So these three perspectives make it very clear to understand that research and publication is very important in your career because it is going to help treat future patients as well as it is going to help treat and teach the future generation of your field. So now that you know that publishing is important, let us see what is the basis of publishing. I am sure all of you have heard about this. It is known as evidence-based practice. There are three E's, or the evidence, second is the experience, and third is the expectations. Expectations of the patient, family, friends, caretakers, whoever comes to your outpatient department. Basis of publishing is to develop an evidence-based mind and an evidence-based practice. What is evidence-based practice? It is the best practice based on the available evidence, your experience, and to meet the patient and the family's expectations. For example, a patient coming from 300 kilometers away, and if you advise 2, 3 tests for that patient would like to get admitted because they have to again travel, do the test, then come back, then go back. These are some of the issues that are coming in patient expectations, okay? Because you don't want them to travel 600 kilometers just to get 2 test reports. The digital world is growing in medical field as well, again, to satisfy patient and family expectations, right? Evidence, as I've already said, is your research and the publications that your seniors have done or you have done in a particular field, and experience is your personal experience of treating similar patients in past. So this is the basis of publishing, that is to develop evidence-based practice. A lot of students say that there is data already available on this topic. Why should we publish? Where the answer is very simple, that I have already said each patient is unique. Each patient comes from different demographic area and is in different part of financial, legal, political, economic environment. And all these factors play a role in selecting the treatment options for a patient. Very simple example is the chemotherapy doses that are prescribed in national guidelines in US and UK cannot be applied to Indian patients because our patients are physically different and they don't tolerate those kind of doses that are seen in US and the UK. So they may need lower doses. This is based on evidence of our own country's patients, right? So that is demography. So even when you have data on how to treat liver cancer, a patient of liver cancer in US and UK may have different characteristics that affect the treatment compared to a patient who is in India, right? Each case is unique and should add value to existing literature, and that is why we need local data and local guidelines. So to summarize why to publish, what are the benefits of publishing? I would say that publishing is a social responsibility based on the perspectives that I have shared. Also, publication now increases your social media presence, and this also helps in increasing patient confidence. We have now metrics of publication which are based purely on social media response to a publication. We will discuss this in upcoming videos. Other thing, on an individual front, it leads to betterment of CV. At some places, it is mandatory to have some number of publications to get job promotion. Also, publications and research help you project your experiences at an international level in conferences. Other thing is a fascinating feeling that you get when you see your name on Google showing a lot of your publications. These are some of the books that I have published. It gives you great pleasure when you see that people are responding to your publications on internet, people are benefiting for it, and people are putting reviews on it. So the first books on scientific research publishing, this content is basically designed partly from that book. So another personal benefit is the feeling of satisfaction that you get by publishing. For further reading on this topic, the most important concept in this topic is of evidence-based practice, which is the basis of publishing. And this is a very good article that you can put on Google. You will get the full link to this article because it's in open access form and you can read this article. It has 7 steps of evidence-based practice, a very good article, right? If you want to be ahead of this series, this is the book that I have written with my colleague, a step-by-step guide to scientific research publishing. So you can read this book as well. It's available on Amazon and it's free for Kindle Unlimited readers. Thank you.